Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Really excited for this video. This is one of those videos I love doing for every game that I play, and that's kind of like my top 10 things I learned slash things I screwed up slash things I think people don't know slash things everybody needs to know. Just a list of stuff full of information, just bam 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 into you that you should probably be doing or at least be aware of. And there's been a lot in this game because there's so much to do. There's so many things that I just missed so many of them. So let's get into this right off the bat here. I'm going to talk about the re-rolling first. And a lot of people are dead set on re-rolling in this game. They're dead set on getting their green Meliodas, their green whatever the heck they want. You know, like everybody is saying, you need green Meliodas, blah, 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 blah. And I just want to say that I don't think you should stress out too much about this. This is kind of like my tip number one. There are so many fantastic units to use, so many free units to use. For example, we get the Blue King, pretty much one of the best units in the game. I feel like he's the best in the game right now, just for me personally. We also get the Blue Diane there too as well. There's so many free units you get that are just absolutely amazing. And Green Meliodas, for example, for me, has been one of my worst SSRs just right now. And I understand a lot of these advices that people give are for later, but right now is where the fun happens, you know? Like, right now is where you just have so much fun with the game. So me personally, Green Elaine right now has been bottom tier list for basically everything I've looked at, but she's been one of my favorite characters and one of my best. She's also been outperforming my Meliodas. I'm not saying she's better than Meliodas there, but she has been performing absolutely amazingly for what I use her for so far. And I love her to death right now. So what I'm trying to get at here is there are so many units you can use. Don't feel bad about not having what everybody tells you to have, you know? Just enjoy the game, have fun. Also, in terms of other really fantastic units you might want to look for, a couple of them here is the King, the Blue King right here. You obviously need to build this guy. He's honestly like the godsend of this game. He's also the godsend for raids. He's just absolutely broken IMO. He's so flippin' good. Another person that is an SR, and don't be afraid of using SRs. For example, I believe it's the green Steel Thunder for buffs. There's so many things. The Red Liz Hawk as well. There's so many good units you can use at SR and bring them up to UR and SSR. So if we look at one of my favorite units right now, it's actually Gustav. He is a killer. He's a stone cold killer. All he does for me is stun. He's got a bronze stun, so he can freeze on his first skill here. It's ridiculous for the raid, which you will hit maybe in like a couple days of playing, depending on how long you play. I definitely recommend, if you get him, just bring him up to level 40, and he does what he needs to do. You can keep that thing between him and King Lockdown, the hard mode boss, basically locked down the whole time. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, you will pretty soon. So just keep SRs in mind and don't neglect people that are lower rarity just because of that. Also, I get this asked a lot, whether the base SRs that can also come at SSRs have less stats. They don't. It's the same. Don't worry about it. So yeah, the story modes also force you to build some URs here, like my Blue Meliodas and my Red Bond there. They're both fantastic units as well. So yeah, that's about it for the main characters. Just have fun is what I'm trying to say, and the characters will come to you as you go. Next up, I'm going to talk about a really quick cosmetic display here that a lot of people seem to be missing. There is a button at the top right of the screen, right up there, and it toggles your helm. And it is glorious. So many people don't know this is a thing. Like, I'll be using my fighter Diana, and they'll be like, oh, where's her hat? And it's just like one little button up there that nobody really knows exists. So that's something you really need to make sure you can figure out what cosmetics you want to use, right? And speaking of cosmetics, a lot of people are upset about the stat-based units, cosmetics, outfits in this game. As you can see, the outfits all have different stats here. Let's actually look at Meliodas instead, since I have more Meliodases. So we'll go to him here. So we can see in my closet, I have 4 Meliodas skins unlocked, and they all have different stats you can see here. One thing I thought when the game first came out was that, let's say, I wanted to have this outfit on, but this one gave better stats, I would have this one equipped and I'd feel really bad about it because, you know, look at it versus this. That said, this is pretty cool looking. But either way, you get all the stats from all the ones you have unlocked if they have this little green thing at the top left. So for example, if I cancel registration on this one here, there's no green thing. So that means I'm not getting stats for my registered outfit here. So I can register it up and get stats. You have 5 registered outfits for each person. So you will be able to pick 5 of them. You'll pick the one you want to use for looks and then the 4 best stats, I'm assuming, for your registered outfits. And also the Meliodas skins kind of share between each Meliodas. So you will be able to use the UR versions of the other Meliodases on this one as well. And the UR ones do give better stats. So even as free to play, you'll be able to get UR versions and kind of stick them in your registered outfits just from building the other Meliodases. So as for whether or not you should buy some of these with gems, because you can get them for gems in the shop, yes and no. I think if they are visually appealing to you, I would definitely buy them. And stat-wise, as a UR, they are still worth having. You know, it'll be a little bit of a bump, not too big. And again, for example, with this Boar Tavern one we have here, if we go back really quickly, we can take off his helm, and now you can see it's actually Meliodas if you had no idea who it was. Next up is going to just be a quick little talk about gear. There are infinite videos on this already on YouTube. If you want to figure it out, go check it out. ClayQZult has been doing insanely great content for this game if you want to look at more in-depth content on that. But we can take a look at our gear. Who has some gear on? Maybe our king? I don't have the best setup here. This is exactly what you shouldn't do. So let's find one that's a little better. So we've got our Hauser here. Hauser acts like an AoE farmer for me. And what the general consensus people have been saying has been left side gear, you want to have your highest rarity stats on there. So your SSR gear, just whatever the highest one is. And you want to bring it up to +5. And on the right side, and this is weird, something that a lot of us aren't used to, is just use your base common sets and upgrade them. And that way you can get the substats. The substats are the same on SSRs versus C. So if this was an SSR one, you wouldn't get as much main stat from this, but you would get the same substats. So it's one of those things that just doesn't make sense, but it makes sense once you realize what's going on. It will save you a ton of materials in the long run, and you can just use right side to just get that little bit of boost here. Again, please watch a full video on this. I can't fit enough information on this, but it's just something you need to be aware of. I would not upgrade anything over C on the right side right now just because of how many resources it takes when you get a main stat. If we look 108 attack right here versus 433 attack on this SR piece. Most people are also recommending having an attack and a defense set on them. And that's what I've been mostly doing, but for a couple of my units, I've had a couple pretty good SSR pieces. For example, this crit chance one here has a 521 attack, and to me, that was worth more than the attack set. So that's why I went with a crit chance set here. So just keep in mind as you go through, you can see my gear. I'm not too advanced, and I plan to fix a lot of my gear tonight. That's just that. Next up, let's talk about daily quests. And this is a really important one because so much of this just went over my head, and I didn't understand where to find it or where anything was. So there's a bunch of things you need to do daily. I don't think I'm going to cover all of them because I'll probably still miss some of them. But if we look at tasks in the middle here, this is essentially your daily quest. So just try to get as many of these done as you can. Fill up all these things, get all these things complete here. There's also a couple other things. If we go to battle, we can go to boss battle here. And in each chapter here, you can summon one of the raid bosses, then do a raid boss. You can join as many as you want a day, but you can only summon one a day, one per area a day, and you'll get extra rewards for summoning it when you invite a friend. So that's one important thing here. And honestly, I thought I was getting most of my daily stuff done. And I was really proud of myself. I'm like, yeah, this is good. I'm doing awesome. And then I found out there's a lot more in events, and I didn't even notice these existed, to be honest. So there are equipment enhancement events here to finish it off here, and if you enhance your equipment, you have 6 hours, 8 minutes left to get this, and you get 3 of these thingamajigs. Same here, you can do this one as well. This one as well, this one as well. There's a lot of daily stuff in here, and specifically there was one of them that I'm not sure which one it is. I think it might have been this one. Yeah, specifically there was this one, which is kind of dangerous. So if you're watching this video tomorrow, you probably have missed this and you may be kind of screwed. This one specifically has a 5 daily account, so you can only do it 5 times a day. And one of the quests is to repeat it 10 times. And there's only 2 days, 6 hours left, so 3 more resets. So you can only get 15 more chances at this to be able to do this. This is something I absolutely missed and did not know it was here. So I'm so glad I got some help and got located into this, because honestly there's so many menus, so many things to do, you just don't see it, right? You just don't see them. So you just kind of have to pick around the menus and figure out which button to press. So next up, landscape. I probably should have addressed this first, since there's probably already people in the comments talking about it. I have a video on how to set this up on landscape. I will put it in the links description below. Portrait versus landscape are both fantastic. I use portrait on my phone and I use landscape on my PC. Do note that it's not officially supported by Netmarble, so if your game crashes, if you need any help and you're using landscape, it's a no-go. They're not going to help you. So keep that in mind going forward. But like, I've crashed once in 20 hours of gameplay or something, and I think it was unrelated to 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, next up is gold, and gold is a big one that people are essentially missing out on. If we look at our items here, let's go to our menu. We will go to our item storage. When we go to one use, there's often, oh, not one use, we go to bisque. There's often treasure chests in here. This is 37.5 gold, and you think, you know, we got this, why not just sell it? And we've got more here, you know, there's a ton of them. What does this even do? Oh, that's cool. I didn't know what that did. Anyway, a lot of people are just selling those, so 37.5k gold here. But in reality, what you can do, I think you have to be a little further in the story, but not too far, is you can invite Veronica. So you can invite Veronica once a day for free. After that, it costs 1 gem, so you really only want to do this once a day. And you can see it resets in 6 hours. So what I do is invite Veronica, and then Veronica comes over and usually sits right about here. That's where she's been for me. You can talk to her just like you talk to this person here. And then once you give, let me answer this. Haha, you're not the first to, yeah, nailed it. Once you give them a gift, you will receive 20% additional gold when you sell stuff in shops. And that is insane. That's 20% extra gold. I have 3 million gold right now, and I saved all of my gold pieces to sell them at once. So, let's say I sold a million worth of stuff. I get 1.2 million with the, or 1.2 million with the 20% gold bonus. Do note, you cannot just sell it from your inventory. You have to go to a town and sell it there after you feed Veronica her buff. Also, my food buff, I don't know if it's random, but my food buff I could only get in chapter 5, so I had to clear that first before I could get it. But apparently after the first day, she changes what she likes, and then you can do that just fine. Next up, speaking of reputation, in towns, reputation is actually really important in this game. There's a couple things. I haven't figured out all of them, but apparently you can get a lot of SSR gear repeatably through level 5 in the towns. But there's also a bunch of other things you can do. You can unlock more quests, which gives you more gems. You can do so many different things. And to progress your reputation, you just follow around the blue quest just like you would in an MMO. Pretend you're grinding faction in WoW or something like that, and level them up. There's also pop-up shops, and if we look at the sign here, it shows what these pop-up shops can give. There are UR weapons, there are SSR weapons, all sorts of different things. The UR weapons do cost 30, and you can see the stats they give here. 30 gems, I mean. And I think the SSRs cost 500k gold or something like that. I don't know if it's smart to buy these. I personally would if it's for somebody I like, not only for the stats, because again, we talked about the cosmetic bonuses early. I assume it applies just the same for this, but also because they look flipping amazing. They look absolutely wonderful. So keep that in mind when you're going into this. I do think I would personally rather have a one of these than a 10 pull, you know? Like, one of these would just be so unbelievably good. Just to look at, they look fantastic. If you haven't gone browsing the cosmetics, you really should. But the pop-up shop happens every now and then. If we click this thing here, we can see it's in Post Town Tala right now, only for a certain amount of time. And if we talk to her, we can see the list we have. We've got an SSR weapon here for Hendrickson, and we've got an SR weapon for Jillian here, and we also have level 5 unlocked right now, or locked. So I have to progress up to level 5 to be able to talk to the rest of this here. So yeah, there's a ton more in this game that I really want to talk about, but it's only so much I can jam in at once. And as people ask me more questions, as I learn what people are missing and having problems with, I might do another one of these videos, or maybe I'll do something very much more streamlined into the streamlined video. So like a topic just on equipment or something like that. But one of the things when you're planning out stuff like UR weapons, you really want to take a look at the weapon list here. And remember, you get 5 registered weapons, so you can pick one you absolutely want to use. Oh my lord, that's so cool. Pick one you absolutely want to use, and then use that one, and then pick the 4 best registered stats IMO. And you will get a lot of these throughout the story and throughout the game for free, I think, depending on events. So keep that in mind. There's so many different combinations you can have, and this is one of my favorite parts. Just absolute scale of things you can do in this game. So that's going to be it. I think I covered enough things. Let me know if there's anything really obvious I missed. I tried to do stuff I personally did not miss or did not get myself, stuff I didn't fully understand when I started this game. So there's a lot of tips I didn't fully touch on that I hope you picked up regularly. I'm going to say one more thing too. There's gems and summons. A lot of people are asking me if they should summon now, if they should draw now, or if they should wait. And I personally think you should wait. I am really happy with my starting units, and I think you should reroll for a set that you're really happy with, and play with them and have a lot of fun. Do your daily draw, and then wait until something comes out like Merlin if you want Merlin, and save for that and spend them there. That's what I would honestly do. So keep that in mind going forward. A lot of people are saying you want to summon as fast as you can now just to get as many dupes as you can, because dupes in this game are fantastic for the coin shop. I thought about talking about the coin shop here, but there's just so much going on. I feel like this takes an entirely new dedicated video, so I didn't touch it. But dupes are good. Just keep that in mind. That's it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you want to download this game, link description below to get it on BlueStacks 4, and I will talk to you folks later. Bye, everybody!